Throughout the fourth season of Superman and Lois, the conflict between Lois Lane and Lex Luthor has been the most prominent. As soon as the latter was freed from prison in the penultimate episode of the previous season, it was obvious that they were going to come into conflict with one another. Things have undoubtedly become much more acrimonious in this season. Lex, who is motivated by vengeance for Lois's decision to put him in jail for a crime that he did not commit, is the one accountable for the ways in which things have transpired, even though it is not quite a one-sided situation. He had committed crimes that were just as awful, but he has conveniently forgotten about that fact. The irony is that he clearly deserved to be in prison and had committed crimes that were exactly the same. As a result of Lex's actions, tensions have increased over the course of the most recent episodes. Lex has been targeting Lois' loved ones, including her children Jonathan and Jordan Kent, as well as her best friend Mayor Lana Lang. He has also ordered Doomsday to assassinate Superman and General Lane. Once he had restored to life, the Man of Steel decided that he had had enough of playing nice and savagely assaulted Lex in Smallville without his superhero abilities. Following the jaw-dropping moment in which Superman revealed his true identity to the entire globe, Lex and Lois made the decision to take their rivalry to the screen, engaging in a public argument with the entire world watching once more. Despite the fact that Lois was able to hold her own, Lex emerged victorious as a result of the extremely biased show that was hosted by Gordon Godfrey, and the fact that Amanda McCoy's strategy to discredit the truth was successful. The scheme that Lex Luthor devised in the previous episode to sow seeds of doubt in the minds of the general public regarding Lois Lane's illustrious reputation was a resounding success. Nevertheless, there is no denying that it was not his intention to do so. Lex is a savage in every Superman adaptation, but he is always more happy playing it up to the cameras and plotting behind the scenes. This is because he is more comfortable with the spotlight. This Lex is not. He is a beast through and through who will wage all types of physical battle. And despite the fact that he enjoys plotting, he will allow himself to get in the way of his own schemes on occasion. And he is not at ease when he is dressed in a suit or when he is in front of the cameras. The fact that Lois and Clark were aware of this led them to take it upon themselves to go under his skin in an effort to repay him for the shenanigans he displayed during the debating session. With that, Superman flew to meet him in Metropolis and handed full credit to Amanda McCoy for the ingeniously wicked plot. He did this because he knew that Luthor would not react kindly to that. In a manner that was completely predictable, Lex was not pleased with the idea that he had a partner in crime, and he made an effort to remind Amanda of her position. How was he able to accomplish that? To divert her attention and give him the opportunity to regain control of the plot to get revenge on Lois, he rewarded her with enormously big shares in Luthor Corp. This was done in an effort to distract her. The scene that took place between Superman and Lex was the stuff of legends, and Tyler Hoechlin and Michael Cudlitz were dedicated to it. They made sure that we all felt the gravity of the tense meeting that took place between these two comic book giants. Superman, however, was not the only one who was determined to beat Lex. Lois was more determined than she had ever been before after he had damaged her reputation. After advertisers withdrew their support from the Smallville Gazette out of concern that they would be connected with her, she made the decision that it was time to hit Luthor where it hurts. But before she could devise a strategy, Amanda walked into the Gazette office to tell her that any attempt at a return would be fruitless and to sue her for defamation. She also threatened to sue her for damaging her reputation. As a result of a conversation with Clark, Lois is reminded of how good she is at reporting, and as a result, she decides to begin her investigation at the beginning, which takes her back to Bruno Mannheim. Lois is understandably frustrated, especially after Amanda tells her that she should not bother looking for Cheryl Kimball, also known as Gretchen Kelly, because she will not find her. One of the most unexpectedly moving moments of Lois and Mannheim's reunion takes place at Stryker's Island. When Lois expresses her sorrow over the passing of Pia, Bruno's wife, with tears in her eyes. Then, he expresses his happiness to Lois that she is in remission from her cancer, and despite the fact that he initially declines to assist her in defeating Luthor, because to the fact that she was the one who released him from prison, he eventually gives in and decides to do so. They do reach a sticking point, but when Lois hears Cheryl's name, Bruno reveals to her that Cheryl was once in love with Lex, but that he abandoned her when she was no longer useful to him. Lois is surprised to learn this information, very similar to Amanda in her own persona. When it comes to Amanda, she is overjoyed when Lex gives her shares in the company as a gift. However, her excitement rapidly turns into disappointment when he freezes up during their kiss, and then proceeds with the next phase of the plan without her presence. In addition, the subsequent part entails going back to Smallville in order to locate Doomsday. This is because he and Milton Fine learned that the Beast was once again found in the mines, attempting to find a way to return home. Additionally, with Milton's assistance, John Henry Irons' suit has been improved for him at this time. The iconic war suit that Lex Luthor referred to as the Killer Suit is, in fact, on its way toward being released. By informing Amanda about his history with Cheryl, Lois makes an effort to establish a connection with her. In the beginning, she doesn't give it much thought, but Lois is able to accurately time Lex's behavior and anticipate what he will do before Amanda ever has a chance to tell her. Amanda is outraged that he excluded her from the plot and has once again resorted to taking out his aggressions on Smallville. As a result, she hunts him down to Smallville. Littleville is the target of his aggressions. Due to the fact that this is the subject of his petty fixation at the moment, Smallville turned down his money, and he is now obligated to cause them to pay. As Clark was coming to grips with his truth, which was that he would not be Superman forever and that he was already beginning to become weaker, he was busy educating the boys to be ready for whatever was going to happen next. Despite the fact that he was originally overly critical of them because they were unable to accomplish what he accomplished, he soon came to the realization with the assistance of his Kryptonian mother Lara that this was actually their strength and made an effort to teach them how to work with it. He encouraged them to make the most of the fact that they are a team of super twins when they were working together. In addition, when Doomsday roars himself back into town, Smallville was going to require all the assistance that the world or universe could possibly provide. In Smallville, Amanda confronts Lex, but he yells at her, putting her in her place, and telling her that he is in control and that he has always been in control. During the time that he is flying through the roof of the hotel and carrying out his plan to free Doomsday, she is aware that he has never loved her. And that is exactly what he does, reuniting with the Beast in the mines and making a solemn pledge to kill him one more time, so that he will never have to experience painful sensations again. As a result of his attacks, Doomsday transforms into a version of himself that is more comically accurate and has a more distinctive appearance.